now call this meeting to order. If you would, please silence your mobile devices. And at this time, I'd ask Mr. Dale Blevins to lead us in the invocation.
Kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we just thank you again, Lord, for another day, Lord, for the beautiful sunrise you've given us this morning, Lord, and things we take for granted. And Lord, I just come to you this morning, praying, Lord, that our decisions we make today are pleasing in your sight. Lead and guide us as we make our decisions, Lord, for we ask in your name. Amen.
Pledge.
Attention. Salute pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board members, make yourself aware of the conflict of interest and ethics awareness. If any board member has any conflicts, let it be known. If not, we'll move on. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda this morning? If none, do I have a motion?
There is.
Yes, I'm sorry.
You have additions?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to add item 8C, the TDA board appointment, and item 8D for an ambulance contract to items for discussion, Chair.
Okay, we have two. With those additions, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Items for discussion. Mr. Danny Burleson with the election board.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I'm not here to ask for money, so we can all be friends, Steve. That's your phone, so ignore. I just want to give you a little update on the precinct. In June, they decided and voted to move the Red Hill precinct to the Bakerville, which has been doing it for years. I came on in July, and I didn't especially want to close the precinct, but I've looked, there's no place to do it. So it's one of those things that they've been voting in Bakerville forever. I just wanted to give you all the heads up that the Red Hill precinct now will be voting in Bakerville like they've done for the last several elections. I left it open for the board, should we ever be able to find a place, or you all build us a place or whatever, we'd be glad to open it back up. Other than that, it'll have to be as it is.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Danny?
You said it'd been like that for a couple of years.
Years, been for several elections. We had that place at, and it's just, it has to be ADA compliant. I went and looked at some churches, one of them graciously offered us to use it with no parking, and the bathroom door was 24-inch, which it has to be ADA accessible, and it just can't get out about that. And there are just not many places there that you can hold elections that meet the state and the federal guidelines, which you all are well aware of there.
Well, thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danny.
Steve.
Thank you, President. Next on the list is voting and link submittal capital improvement plan, Mr. County Manager.
Thank you, Chair. So this is a capital improvement plan, basically mapping out and doing studies on water sewer infrastructure in the county. It goes alongside of our housing study, though it is a different RFP. It's through the Dogwood grant. So Dogwood gave us approximately $350,000 about a year ago prior to Helene hitting. And part of that was selection. And during the selection process, Helene hit, of course, and we were having RFPs out in October. And then after the storm, we decided to, hey, let's take another look at this. And we finally got Bill Slagle on with EDC, because EDC has a big say in how this grant goes. They were one of the original ones that submitted with us. So finally, we got to the housing plan, which y'all approved about 2 meetings ago, but the CIP only had one bid. So I had to reopen for 10 days in order to open that one bid. So we advertised, reopened, and now we finally have a bid. I know 4 could speak to the legalities of it, but today I know we need the commission board to vote to approve the contract pending legal review.
Any questions, County Manager? Okay, if not, do I have a motion to approve pending attorney review?
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? We'll move on to HC, EDA board comment.
I'll speak to that. So the TDA board, Sharon Rowland, her term has rolled off, and so she was the Bakersville representative. And then, Cy Thomas was the appointee for a short-term rental, and he cannot, make our meetings, so we had one vacancy for a board member that has a short-term rental, and so today they, had submitted Gary Hyatt's name as the Bakersville representative to replace Sharon, and Kevin Candy to replace Cy Thomas. So, if there's any questions, I can answer those.
Does Mr. Candy, do short-term rentals?
That's correct.
Okay with it?
And it would be a 3-year appointment and a 2-year appointment. Sharon's was for the Bakersville 3-year appointment, which coincides with Spencer, who represents Brisbane. And the other one is 2 years.
Any other questions? Okay, do I have a motion to approve Gary Hyatt and Mr. Candy to the TDA board?
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? And last thing on the agenda is ambulance contract.
So I can speak to that, Chair. So Friday of last week, Landon and I, the new EMS director, drove down to an area outside of Charlotte where we were able to take a look at a demonstrator model ambulance that had been used for, just to kind of show the features and everything. So with getting an ambulance, for our county-run EMS, it's very difficult to find a truck. It typically takes 18 to 24 months for us to order one. And so when you got one that the person's willing to sell, that's a new one, you know, you want to check it out. And so some of the story behind that is, you know, we have 4 vehicles right now. One has some engine issues, another has some transmission issues. And we also are starting depreciation schedules with the county. So we're trying to keep our equipment on a rotation. And so we need a new one into our rotation as we start. So this ambulance they're very hard to come by. So we went on down there and had a discussion with them. Landon did a review on it, and I can probably call him in if y'all have any specific questions. I'm sure he's right here in the building, but he did a look at it. It is a good machine. It's got the F550 in it, diesel, 4-wheel drive. It has the hydraulics on the back where you can lower it a little bit to let patients in. Of course, we're gonna be doing the lifts on that and everything else too. So we still gotta outfit some equipment on it. But it's a very good ambulance for what we need up here. It is a bigger model, so it's a little bigger than the ones we have. But a bigger one is needed for us in certain situations in our fleet. So, you know, my EMS director has done this for 20+ years to take a look at it, got his check box on it. The cost on that contract, I think this thing's, you know, over $400,000. So, you know, it is something that the commission board needs to look at, but we have put outlay out for EMS. You know, we put aside some fund balance on that. So, you know, just wanted everybody to see the contract. Of course, we have also a factor on there is sole source procurement that our county attorney would need to look at, being that the market is so tight for finding a vehicle. We would have that legal side of this. And of course, with the board, you know, knowing that life safety is something that pertains to all citizens with an EMS service. So we feel like having a dependable ambulance on our in our system that we're doing with the county system is crucial. It allows us to rotate a vehicle out to get maintenance and to get fixed if something's there. As we expand services, that's something as well. So Having that ambulance is crucial for our depreciation schedule and crucial for operations to know that we can, provide that service to the citizens. I do not want to start an ambulance service and then find out that, hey, we, got 3 vehicles that aren't working and now somebody's not getting waited on. So that was another thing behind that. So wanted to run that by the board. What I would need is maybe the, contract reviewed by the attorney. So it would be, to approve the contract to purchase the new, vehicle pending legal review and the attorney's, advising.
Is the 424,648, is that outfitted at all, or is that just the vehicle itself?
That does have some of the outfitting on it, but they'll still need more, like there's some equipment that's involved on that. Could you run and see if Landon could step in and tell us exactly what the outfitting is on that? I want y'all to know since that is a big expenditure.
Also, notice is going. On the trucks that we're buying from Craig, or from Craig, they were made. Will we be trading in any of those for this? I noticed it listed a trade-in application or.
Yeah, good morning.
Hey.
So this time, we're buying this one outright, so there's
Sorry.
right in.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wanting you to, I knew you knew more about the ambulance. So some of the commissioner questions on approving the contract. One of the things was, it's outfitted to a certain point, but it'll need more outfitting, but what has it got with it right now?
Well, we were gonna price with it, the loading system, the cot, that does the self-loading. We were priced to be that, putting that with it, and, we're gonna put a brush car on the front to save it from the deer around here. It will need a radio system, it needs the radios, like, the two-way radio that usually local people usually do that for us. And, as far as the monitor and stuff like that, we're good. We have, Craig's gonna be selling us 4 of the latest, well, they're not the latest, but they're newer versions of his old cardiac monitors. At some point, we'll have to replace one of those at some point because the 5th one he has is like ancient, come over on the heart, and we'll have to replace that at some point. But they've got vents, we can put the vents on that. We'll transfer like one of the vents from out there over to it. And I was talking to Jeff earlier, I'd like to put a cooler on it too, that we can keep the narcotics at the right temperature. Lots of them have got an expiration date. That means they're in a cool environment. And if they don't, we have to change them every 30 days, and that runs into a lot of money. It's just wasted, we throw them out after 30 days. But just the cot and that refrigerated unit like that, they usually come with a heated side and a cooling side. They're only maybe about a foot square, they're just small. Other than that, 2 things, I'm not really. They wanted to put a Zoll, and I told them no, that we were good right now. We could do a Zoll at some other point through Zoll representative here. But just the cot, the loading system, and that cooling unit, I think, and the radios, I think is anything extra we'd have to do to it. And Alan, is that price, did he quote that price with us with the, that's with the cot, what, with the loading?
Yeah, that was with the track system
Yes,
there
it
installed
comes out.
to where it comes up and they had to put that plate in there, so
Yeah.
I think that comes with the plate.
It does, and this one's got the lowering system, like when you open the door, you put the truck in park or put the brake on, it lowers the rear end of it so that the cotton just rolls up to those arms, it picks it up and pulls it back in. So it's really neat, it saves a lot of back injuries, and it's a good recruiting tool, and it's a good tool to keep people here with us, like, they're right there now, I don't know if you've seen how they do it now, but 2 people have to get on the end of the cot and they have to lift it up and then slide it in. So if you've got a heavy person on there, that really, it's just a accident waiting to happen, with a back injury or something. But the standard now is pretty much, these self-loading cots from Stryker.
So once you guys purchase these and outfit them, does it go into rotation, or are you guys holding off until the county takes over the service to put it in rotation?
This one, we would bring it in and it would be marked as right now with the county, correct, Mavis?
Right, we wouldn't put it in service until we take over.
Okay.
It will not go out there.
Right,
That's
no,
what
they
I'm
won't,
saying.
yeah.
Cost, that's a private
It'll be holding
company.
it. It'll be parked in our parking lot.
Yeah.
Well, you can probably get the striping and its installation and outfitting.
So speaking of striping, are they getting the same striping as the other
No.
ones?
I have some plans if you all would like to see some
Yeah,
different ones.
that's a good.
This is one that the guys from down at the Charlotte sent, to me yesterday. He had some I liked and a couple I didn't really care for. I found one, I think, he told me we could do anything that we liked. This is one I did not care for that.
Those colors?
Well, just the way the striping is on the truck.
Oh.
Those colors, he said we could choose any color we wanted. There we guys see it.
I personally don't like those colors.
I don't either. I didn't personally care for the colors. Did you see it, Lee? Yes. He sent me that yesterday. Here's the other one he sent. Now this one, he done it in a purple and silver, and he just started up on his computer. I don't know, this is the one that maybe it's not kind of liked. It's in a purple and silver, but it's a lot of purple again.
I like purple.
It's a whole lot purple. But this is the design I found. Just kind of a simple guy, really. And this is the old colors that we used to use, years ago. Some people are going to it, still using it. It's kind of like that, but it says Mitchell County EMS.
Those same colors?
The same colors, the orange and white. But now, if y'all have a design or something, we've not set nothing in stone. If y'all think of something that would look more like Mitchell County. This is more the old style from years ago, and lots of people still doing the orange and white. I think that over in Johnson City, they still do these colors, the orange and white. And it's a very good color about showing up, in the dark. But they can do that. They said they can do that right now for us and we wouldn't have to wait. He said their shop that does this is actually got nothing to do right now. And
Landon, what was their time frame? I don't remember when I was down there. They said that they'd have this thing to us by.
they wrote in the contract 60 days, but he told me there would be no way. He said he's shooting for December the 1st for us. But still on top of that, we'll have to have the stake inspected. And, I get a tag, and all that stuff like that too, but December 1st, he said was their date they wanted to us.
Are we still shooting for December 1st, full county?
We're hoping.
Yep, everything's still moving now, if you get on somebody's desk, something needing to be signed out in Raleigh or somewhere, or narcotics or a federal office, but we're still on track.
DHHS person is gonna come out next Monday to do the base inspection. And then when he proves that, it goes to the EA and it's just a matter of the paperwork, then it'll be good to go.
As far as the transition of inventory, since we're on ambulance discussion, but that, I talked to Craig yesterday at length, had Landon with me, and we talked about a lot of the rollover, I've made him aware of the issues with the vehicles and the need to have those vehicles functional to the level of the contract, what it stated on that, and I just made him aware of that, and, we had some discussion on he needed to know the transition date. We had some narcotic stuff and some inventory stuff that we'll have coming and crossing over as they close out doing operations on that same date. Then we have to change the name of the trucks the same day as the transition. So had a few things on there that are check boxes, but we'll be getting it. It'll be moving.
I have a couple bids out with local folks, Pittman's up in Newland right there right above the college with him, that we're wanting to take those markings in purple off the two. Probably we'll end up keeping the two better ones and putting it like I told him just go something basic, just an orange and white, and just put Mitchell County EMS on it. And one of the QRVs that's this war smack down about, it's got over 200,000. I told him not to do nothing to it. I don't really want to waste any money on that thing. We might take the big purple thing off of it and, put it on the government thing for sale. And there's another QRV, the better one, we'll have the stripes, the purple taken off it and restripe it with their colors. And this has got to be done, as soon as we take over. Our problem we're running into, he's got a truck with a motor bat in it, and one's got a dirt hit in the front. So they can't give us a day when that one's coming back. So the problem is we can't take one out of service to get it restriped. So there we're hitting a little hiccup right there. Is going to be my biggest worry right now, getting them restriped. I don't want to leave them like pull the Mitchell Medics off and just put Mitchell County, but I don't know. I promise we don't have to do that, but we're getting redone as quickly as possible.
So let's talk about while we're talking trucks. We've got one with a motor. That has to, that has to be repaired according to the contract agreement before we take over from Rec.
That's correct, and.
Yes, that is correct.
Mr. Sullivan is aware of that as well. And with, I noted to him yesterday with a, functional engine, apples to apples is what we kind of said, if you got one that is appropriate for what we purchased, at the time of purchase, when the purchase agreement occurred. So that's our benchmark, is they promised vehicles in working condition, applicable to the time of purchase when we purchased them and took over. Would that be correct in your contract, Bill?
Yes, sir. I think the contract wording says they're to deliver them in serviceable condition under normal operating conditions for the trucks. They also have to deliver the materials that go with the trucks as they would operate in the ordinary course of business. So in other words, if they keep a 2-week supply of bandages and whatever else, those are also part of your purchase price.
Okay. And with that motor going back in the one, would it be a new motor or would it be a refurbished, rebuilt motor? With, let's say, 50,000 or 100,000 miles, probably a 50,000 mile guarantee.
It would have to be consistent with the trucks as they would be for a normal operating condition based on the age of the trucks. So whether they do a new motor or a rebuilt motor, it does have to be functional. We do have a 10% retainage built into the contract so that if we discover there are mechanical problems with the vehicles or otherwise, we will be holding 10% of the purchase price for any hidden defects that we find when we acquire the vehicles.
And we do keep both QRVs, the older one that is not in good shape and the new one, or the newer one. Yes. Okay, good. Any questions? Any comments?
I have a comment. I'll make it real quick. I just want to tell you, tell the board that since, this came to, the county's table in June, when Craig Sullivan brought it, and me being on the EMS board, I have followed and listened to everything just about that they've done in here. And I can 100% tell you guys that they have, from the legal to the finance to our new solid decisions, and you have not done this quickly. And I just wanted to reassure